Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Over the Top TV. I am Curtis Klaschinski.
I'm Riley Miller.
And we are Over the Top TV. So this week's episode, what we're going to do is cover, the guys you don't want to be at arm wrestling practice. So if you're new to the sport, these are the guys you don't want to be. You ever come across any of these guys we're going to cover today?
Tons of times. I've only been in 4 years. Tons of times. You see them all the time.
Right? And these are guys that, if you've been in the sport for any length of time, you will have seen one or all of these guys. So we want to bring it out, show everyone, and be like, you know what, if you're new to the sport, you're looking to join a club, or maybe you're in a club, these are things to not do.
Maybe it's easy to be one of these guys. Maybe you don't even know it. It often probably is newer guys, and it's not really something that we want to call out to the point where, we're trying to get you out of the sport. It's more of a learning curve, right? We want to take you away from being one of these guys and just really expose it from that angle. So
absolutely. Help us help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whew, sorry I'm late, boys. Let's go. You've been at this for over an hour? All right, everyone should be good and tired. Let's go. Woo! I am feeling fresh, man. Let's go. Oh, you are tired, buddy. Oh. Woo! Too strong.
So what you just seen was the guy that shows up late to every practice, okay? It happens all the time. It happens to everybody, okay? Not even the guys that come in and act just like you've seen. Some guys come in and do it right. But I think the important thing is when you show up late, keep your teammates' best interest in mind. When you show up late, you're fresh. They're not. Okay, so don't take it as an ego boost. Take it as an opportunity to let them work, right? It's really just going to look like this.
Yeah, you want to demo that for me?
Yeah, a little bit. Right, so I'm gassed. I've been pulling for, say, a half hour already. Curtis just got here, right? So I don't got much left for him. He's just going to let me work, right? Maybe him and I are pretty even most of the time, but he's just going to let me work, okay?
The point is that I don't show up late and use all this extra stamina and this extra horsepower to now, pound into my, teammates' arms. That's not a practice. It's not safe. It's not healthy. This isn't good for anybody. And you coming in and smashing someone, who's all beat up already does not make you a hero, contrary to what some people believe.
It might make you look good when the cameras come out, but really, the stronger your teammates are, the stronger you are. And if you just come in there and start beating them up all the time, they're not going to get stronger in the process. You're actually not going to get stronger in the process. You're going to look good, but it's not really helping either of you. And you're probably going to lose a little bit of respect for your teammates too, if you just come in and you're just smashing them and they're tired. So just something to think about. We're all late. We all got lives, but just something to be mindful when you are that guy that comes in and is a little bit late.
That's a good point, Riley. And I think that's a word that's going to come up a lot throughout all these examples is respect. Respect your teammates. You may not respect every opponent at the table, but I think it's important to respect your teammates. You okay?
I'm having some issues lately. It's just not, I don't know. Let's go again. Can you beat me to hook?
Yeah, try.
Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, you're hurt. You should probably stop pulling, man. You should probably stop pulling.
I was doing some really heavy curls the other day. I was doing 120 kilo, one arm,
Yeah.
And I went for 6 reps, and I just ripped all my crap open. And it's just not doing good. So I'd probably be able to beat you, but yeah, I'm really hurting right now.
So there's a few words, names you could call this particular person. Simply, it's the complainer. There's always an excuse for everything, and they're always whining, and something is always sore. Meet anyone like this ever?
Quite a bit, yeah. There's some times where it's legitimate. They're legitimately sore. They're legitimately hurt, and there's other times where it's an excuse, right? And it can be hard to pick up on. But I think the important thing to note is your body will speak to you. You'll know when you're hurt, you're too hurt to keep going, and you'll know when you just don't want to lose. So really, what is it, right? Do you not want to lose, or are you just sore, Like what's it going to be?
Yeah, you know, and there's a saying, I heard it all throughout high school sports, was, are you hurt or are you injured? So if you're actually injured, you have no business being at practice. You should be, you know, healing that up, getting fixed, do what you got to do. Now, if you're injured and you choose to show up anyway, it does not mean show up and give excuses for why you're getting pinned or why this is that, or, you know, why you're sore. You know, your teammates don't want to hear it, and it just makes you sound like a whiner. It's okay if you're sore, that's fine. You know, it's normal in this sport.
Very much so.
But no one wants to hear about it the whole practice.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets a little bit on people's nerves sometimes. Maybe not all the time. But like I said, are you actually sore and you just, like, you legitimately can't pull anymore, or are you just making that excuse because you're losing?
Oh, jeez. You gotta come down my thumb, man.
Well, dude.
No, but like,
I mean, this is part of the game, you know. Like, he's trying, right?
You should set up normal, man. You should set up normal, man. Oh, jeez.
I think we're center.
I don't know. You should start there.
I think we're center.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no.
I'm just too strong. I'm just way too strong.
All right. Here's another one. Seen a lot of this. And people think that coming to practice and winning a whole bunch means you're a superstar. You're definitely the next Devin Larratt, for sure. Right? So, but not really. So here's why showing up at practice, you know, getting all the advantage you can, and then like hitting like a ton of bricks, why that is not actually a great idea. You want to take it from here, Riley?
Absolutely. You're not going to get to a point where you're starting in a tournament or in a super match, any type of competition where you're getting to start like that. Okay, and maybe it's not even this much. Maybe it's just a little bit of a kink. But you want to be practicing what you're going to be doing in a tournament, right? So if I'm practicing with Curtis, and I'm starting at practice every single day, my wrist is cocked. Maybe I'm starting on my side of the table. Maybe I'm starting a little bit off center like this. And I'm just pinning him every day, right? And I feel good. I feel really good. Now, I'm going to run into Curtis in a tournament, and that ref is going to make sure none of that happens, right? He's going to make sure we're in the center this way and this way. He's going to make sure our wrists are straight. He's going to make sure our webbing's even. And now all of a sudden,
right,
I get rolled over, and I don't know what happened. Right?
Because he's not ready for it. So when we're set up in the table here, we're set up on the table in a real match, and he's trying to start all jacked up. Like I said, the ref won't let him. He's got to come down. Now what happens is he hasn't trained the cup or pronation or even supination to dive into a hook. He hasn't trained from flat. So here, he hasn't trained from flat to get cupped in. So because he can't do that, he hasn't built up those strengths. So come tournament time and he can't start like that, it's going to be easy all day, you know, for lots of people to take advantage of that. Yeah. So you're really, you know, you're selling yourself as a practice hero, but you're going to be a tournament zero.
Very good way to put it. Very good way to put it.
Yeah.
God, I've been training with you for like 2 years. I'm not getting any stronger. So with this one, you guys seen the stronger guy and the weaker guy. You've seen it how you probably don't want to see it. How it's really not effective in a really good club. It really ties similar to that cheating in the setup. It's not beneficial for either guy, right? If the strong guy is just ripping through the weaker guy. All the weaker guys learning how to do is how to lose, right? Just how to get ripped open. He's not learning any offense. He's not building any static strength. He's just getting ripped open, and he's probably going to get injured a little bit. Maybe down the road, maybe right away. And the stronger guy, he's not learning any defense. He's not learning any. Maybe he's got weaknesses he could work on, and he's just not doing that, right? He's just ripping through. He's using his ace every time. It's just not an effective way to train. So,
yeah. So there's you know, better ways of doing things, like in a lot of things in life. So in this case, the better way to do things is if I am the stronger guy, what I need to do is I can actually use this as a great time to train my weak points or to train these center points. So I can train through here, maybe where I can't train with someone who's equal strength to me or a lot weaker. Maybe I can train, and you can train all these, like, let them take you into weird spots where you have to fight back from in tournament, right? And then, you know, use technique and use your strength to figure out the safest and best way to get back control of the match. And what was that quote Devin said?
The great Devin Larratt, you know, he always says, you know, stronger guy holds, weaker guy works, right? It's a really great quote. He's been saying it for a while. And honestly, I think another great thing to touch on would be confidence, right? From the weaker guy's perspective, right? So if I'm the weaker guy, I should feel confident that I can work on, you know, maybe diving into a vulnerable spot where I feel like he's not just going to rip my arm off and put me in a really dangerous position, right? I need to feel like I can work and maybe test my frame a little bit because it's practice and not be scared that he's going to hurt me, right? I think that's very crucial too. So confidence, another great way to go with it.
Right. So some good words: confidence, respect. These are all important factors to have. You know, all good character traits to have when entering the sport. And you know, it's all about growing. It's not just about you know, getting the pins at practice, because you'll find that if you're just taking those easy pins, you're not going to gain what you want to be gaining.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh man, you're terrible. Like this isn't good. Are you that new? Man,
I've been pulling for like 4 years.
Man, you may as well quit. You're terrible. Like, I just toy with you. That's it? Like, that's it. Are you trying your hardest? Are you serious? Oh man, not even close. Ah!
You know, shit talking or degrading your opponents, not really your opponents, but your teammates, is just, it's really not a way you want to go in terms of building up everybody's confidence in practice. We talked about confidence, we talked about respect. This is something that if it's not done correctly, and maybe you're not close enough with the guys you're pulling with, it can definitely lead to some harm, some bad feelings between each other, and that's just not what you want, right? A really good club is a club that can count on each other on the table and off the table, right? Yeah. Both in terms of mind and body, right? You got to be super connected with both. So it's just really not beneficial to do this, right? You can do shit talking like Devin or Travis Bajan, that's fine, right? If you know how to do that, that's a gift, right? But you don't really want to take the Kev Bro approach to talking trash. We've all seen how that works, and you know, it doesn't work very well.
It doesn't work very well. And this does translate to tournaments and stuff as well. Now, I have, you know, in the 21 years, I've had the internet mad at me a few times. And looking back, I've made mistakes. I've grown as a person, and I've grown as a competitor, and I've grown up as an arm wrestler. And there's lines there. And it turns out that before you even do like the classier shit talking, you really need to establish yourself and not just be a Joe Blow shit talking. But, you know, in this case, it's especially with teammates. Especially if you're joining a new club, you don't want to go in there and grab a hold of someone and then just be like, oh, wow, like you're seriously weak. And not, you know, like people joke, but there's a difference.
Yeah, and yeah, knowing that difference is a big key. And I think it all just comes with being comfortable with who you're around, right? Like Curtis said, if you're coming into a new club, maybe refrain from that a little bit, build up the relationship first, and then go for it. If you've been pulling with these guys for 10 years, you guys know each other's sense of humor, fair game, right? Go for it. Yeah, you're comfortable with each other, you're familiar with each other, sure, right? But just be super mindful when you're doing it. So. And
arm wrestling is a small community in the grand scheme of things, so word gets around. So I mean, I've done things that, you know, I wish I hadn't done, and I'm out to show, you know, the arm wrestling community that, you know, I have grown as a person, and you know, I think I can still be somewhat of a showman, but do it in a way that you're still, you know, respecting your opponent. I think that's important and very important, you know, in your, you know, don't shit where you eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This is pretty strong, eh?
Oh man, it's strong in there. You want to try some top rolling? You want to try?
No, man. This is what you need. Trust me.
This is what okay. I can't beat you there though, man. I can't. You're too strong there.
Trust me. Trust me. I know what I'm doing.
No, this isn't.
This is what you need, right?
It's not good. I don't. I think we should train something else.
Well, pulling in a hook, you gotta pull like a man, right? There's no top roll. There's no king's move. You gotta pull like a man, right? Pull in a hook. That's how you do it.
So this is the kind of person you'll see these lots, and I really think it has a lot to do with, you know, like self-confidence and ego. But you'll have the guy that comes in, he only trains his strengths. He's usually only hitting. You know, it's a guy, you know, he's trying to get wins at practice. And in my opinion, the only win at practice is that you make the gains, you reap the rewards of your hard work. But you're not winning by pinning somebody at practice. It does not count at all. It just doesn't count. So you always want to make sure that you're being well-rounded, right? It's important to be well-rounded in this sport.
Absolutely. Like when you're going to practice, I think the only way you win at practice is if you leave with an excellent pump in your arm. Whatever you have to do to get that, right? You may be pinning a couple times, but you should be also allowing your arm to go this way. It's always good to have that ace, right? Like if you're a top roller, it's good to train it, but don't let your other options fall behind, okay? Because you might, in a tournament, run into a guy who's just better at the top roll than you, right? Maybe his hook is atrocious. So you should probably get training in a hook, right? Because that's where you're going to want to take that match. So you're going to get to a point in the tournament where your ace might not work. And it's good to have it, but it's also good to have other tools in your arsenal. Right, nobody's going to be all out Devin Laird where you're just good everywhere, but it's definitely good. There's no better place than practice to work on your holes, work on your weaknesses, and just get stronger all around.
That's right. You know, it's no secret that, you know, I'm primarily a top roller, but if you watch me in practice, I am practicing probably majority hook, and that is because I am training my weaknesses. I'm only as strong, you know, as my biggest weakness. That's it, you know, because then all someone has to do is, you know, exploit it and drive me into a hook and I'd be done. Well, no, that's not so much the case. Why? Because I'm always training my weaknesses.
Absolutely. Like your top roll, elite. All you have to do is get that one guy who can always force a hook.
Exactly, right? And then what? Play dead?
What are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
So it's just really good to be all around if you can, right?
100%. And that's it. Like that is the list of guys you don't want to be. Don't be those guys. Make the most of your practice. Remember these words. You know, respect, trust. You should be able to trust your teammates. You know, take ego out of the equation. Absolutely. These are all important things that, you know, the sooner you can, if you have any of these flaws or you're doing any of these things, stop it. No. and learn the better way of doing it.
Absolutely. And then maybe even with this video, you still don't realize you're doing it. I would imagine that wherever you're training, you're going to have a guy who's the head of your club. Typically when they see this, they'll give you a talk, right? It's not a lecture. It's not a, hey, you're kicked out of the club. It's just a, hey, I've noticed you're doing this. I'm going to tell you to maybe avoid it from now on. And, you know, that's just a talk that happens in the sport. So I would trust that all the heads of the clubs and stuff, they're used to this talk. They've done it many times before. We're not. This is nothing new.
No.
This has been around for a long time. And, yeah, that's just it.
It's true. You know, and that's one thing I've had to deal with, you know, but I mean, that's one thing I do deal with running the club. So I've run the Saskatoon club for several years now, and I have in the past. And I mean, in the end, you know, I'm trying to get a good workout. I'm trying to teach people. I pass along the knowledge that I've learned over the years. And I'm out to make sure everybody's safe. I don't want to see people, you know, trying to hurt their teammates. And I don't want to see any of these guys get hurt. And it's really my responsibility to walk up to someone. And, you know, over the years, I have had a few talks with guys. Overall, it hasn't been that bad. It hasn't been that many. But, yeah, you know, sometimes you got to talk to somebody and be like, you know, don't be those guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. And safety is the big part of it, right?
Huge.
Like if I'm experienced and you're going to do some of these, like people are going to do some of these things to me, I probably know how to defend myself a little bit better from injury rather than that new guy who's also here. And maybe they're two new guys One's just way stronger, but neither of them know what they're doing. And all it's going to take is that stronger guy going in the wrong direction, and the weaker guy has no idea how to defend himself. And that's when very, very ugly things start to happen.
100%. So yeah, thanks for coming back, you guys, to a brand new episode of Over the Top TV. You know, if you got anything out of this content, or, you know, if you got a chuckle out of any of this, you know, click like, subscribe to the channel. We're pretty determined to produce quality material on a consistent basis. And, you know, like, in the end, it's all about that grip and rip.
Absolutely. Good to set that.
Right on. Take care, everybody.